Hello and welcome. This is the fourth of four sessions of Things from the Flood, which is a game from Free League Publishing using their mutant system. It is kind of a sequel to Tales from the Loop, but it moves the timeline forward, and we're in a 90s where some terrible technological accidents have occurred. We're still in that same sort of whatever town you were in Tales from the Loop, to kind of move forward. And rather than being kids, our characters are teens and are dealing with more of those issues. And tonight we're taking up just a little bit of the tail end from last time. Kara, here's what you knew went on. You were chauffeuring them around for a while. They went to talk to DJ Rust's girlfriend. They went to this incredibly sketchy part of town and went into this guy's house that you're pretty sure he was a drug dealer. And they came out and they seemed to be okay. And then they went to an obscure 7-Eleven, and filled up 16-ounce bottles of Coke with gasoline to prepare Molotovs, which they carried in your car. So the car now smells of bleach and gasoline. Because they had found two things. One is that there was some kind of broadcast tower that had originally been connected to the signal, and they got the location of that. And they found out that it was near the compound for these people called the Waiters, some sort of cult. And so drove out into the country, actually had to go past some of the exclusion zone barriers, and they had you park a ways away, and then they went off. And so you sat there in the dark in a wheat field, kind of waiting for a very long time. And then in the distance, you saw a warm glow and heard a kind of an explosion. And you kind of got the car started and kind of started to pull. Maybe you should go forward. And then a little while after that, because it's still super dark out, you saw part of the field light on fire. And then you started to drive forward. And at that point, you saw Sandra and Larry running with these two DJs, DJ Rust and DJ Pumpkin. And then, like a few moments after that, you saw the building next to this broadcast tower, like a standard television broadcast tower, explode. And then the tower came down. And it's at that point that you saw Tina come running up. So let's assume that DJ Pumpkin and DJ Rust are delivered somewhere, and there is a bit of a moment where there is some calm after the storm, that Sandra, Tina, you can explain to Kara what happened.
You're welcome.
Sandra,
I just got all of us entrance into the raves for the rest of our lives. So, you're welcome.
Are we going to be able to attend those raves from jail, where presumably we will end up at some point in time?
Sandra is in the back seat, kind of all curled into a ball, rocking a little bit, back and forth, back and forth.
Kara, listen. It's going to be okay. We didn't leave any fingerprints. The cultists, trust me, they're not going to say anything about anything that went on. If the cops go out there, I don't know. Sandra, what did you even see there?
So I kind of shiver a little bit, and I assume Lawrence is still with us. So I look over at Lawrence and I say, well, we went looking for DJ Rust and Pumpkin and to make sure no one else was hurt, and there was like the house, and there were two buildings, and one of the buildings I was pretty sure that's where they were keeping people. It was real quiet and stank, and the other one they had a generator, and I opened the door to make sure there wasn't anyone there, and she kind of stutters a little bit, and she says, and there was something inside, and basically she describes like a nightmare scene of appliances with machine cancer around the inside of this building, and then there was a person inside the building that was half eaten by machines and cancer,
What?
and it started screaming at us, and Lawrence threw the bottle, and it started screaming more. So then he lit his hoodie on fire and threw it, and it all went up, and we ran so fast.
Oh my! Are you guys okay?
No. Yeah, we ran. It's gone. I hope.
Hey, you're going to be okay. Like you're safe now, right? Everything's gone, right?
She kind of,
Okay.
in interacting with you guys, she kind of shakes it off a little bit, and you can tell she's trying really hard to be brave. And she's like, "Oh yeah, Lawrence took care of it. It's gone forever. It's gone forever."
Lawrence looks and he says, when it screamed that signal that we heard. Like, that's where the signal came from, was this thing. It was screaming that signal. Did you guys ever see Hellraiser?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot like it was. It was like that.
I had no idea. I saw you guys running with the DJs, and I saw the fire, and I didn't even know.
Yeah, run. I mean, yeah, that was bad. So, I don't think the cops are going to come looking for those people. I don't think they're going to look too hard at them. I think the cops will be fine.
I mean, if the cops go investigate it and they find any of that stuff, they're just going to go after the cultists. I mean, they're not going to. They'll like see. I mean, they'll probably just figure that something went sideways with the stuff that they were doing illegally.
Tina, you need to talk to Pumpkin and make sure that they don't say anything.
Yeah, that was that. I'm going to take that as a given that they are going to keep their mouth shut about this because they don't want to get caught up in anything.
Yeah.
And the other thing, of course, is that none of the cultists saw anybody. They were running from the house and never got a good look at Larry or Tina or Sandra. So that just puts that on the table as in the back of your mind, and is probably for the next couple of weeks the thing that is causing you sort of the most anxiety, because there definitely are reports about some fire at the compound, some other stuff that are going on, and then those reports kind of drop off. Like, nobody talks about it anymore. You're not sure what goes on, what happens, but within a couple weeks, that's all quiet. And people have better things to do because it's getting warm out.
Can we have a short scene, unless you have plans for it, at the arcade?
Sure.
Yeah. So I think the next day, like, we make plans, and I tell them the next day we have to go to the arcade, and there's one last thing to finish. And I think whenever everyone shows up, Sandra's there waiting impatiently. And she goes in. Is everyone there?
Yeah. Well, except for Larry, who is grounded.
Poor Larry. And she goes back to like one of the old arcade games in the back corner. And she says, grab the CD, it's under here. And she starts leaning on it to lift it up a little bit.
Kara will reach and round underneath and try and find that.
It is horrible underneath these machines. It is where awful people, will spit out and knock their gum underneath it. Anything that people drop gets, washed under here. And also it's where none of the carpet gets cleaned up. So any of the spilt beverages or things is in there, and you will around with your hand for a while, but you don't come up with a CD.
Are you sure it was this machine? It doesn't seem like there's a CD underneath there.
Sandra kind of panics a little bit and almost drops the machine off, on Kara's hand and says, you lift it up. And she searches herself, and she's real thorough, like digging through all the muck, and it's much cleaner after she gets done. And there's like a little pile of gross stuff.
Oh yeah. On the plus side, you will find 3 tokens for Aladdin's castle. On the negative side, there is no CD there.
And she comes up just all panicked and wide-eyed and like, oh, it was here. And I think she then says, okay, let's go check the other places. And she goes off, and they check the other places that she's hidden the thing before, like in that culvert. And different places like that, just to make sure she wasn't dreaming when she thought she put it here.
No, you don't find the CD in those spots.
And she's freaked. And then they go back to school.
So we are getting in towards now early May. And I would like to do a little at-home scene with each of you. And then I want to hard frame you into a thing. And you can do an at-home or an at-school, whatever you think is right. Let me start with you, Kara. At what point do you find out the unpleasant history of the car they gave you?
I think her parents, like, I don't know, they always like, buying stuff and deals and things like that. And I think Kara's maybe trying to clean up some of her parents' clutter at some point, and like finds like the auction ad they clipped it from, or wherever they like found the car, and they
police impound sale, and as you know, a note on the release, because they have to inform people, and then they say car has been detailed and cleaned. Note that someone committed suicide in the car. The Weber Police Department does not guarantee complete removal of any bodily fluids or GRU, but they use a more technical word than GRU. Is that cool, or is that creepy, or is that just another day at the Huntley household?
I think it's one of those things where Kara, like, her like aesthetic sense says this is cool. Like, she probably already had some suspicions, and so like it's like she's like she's unsettled by it inside, but her like it fits with kind of the witchy aesthetic. So she's going to like tell herself it's really cool because she's into that kind of stuff. Well, like secretly she's just a little twisted up inside about knowing for sure.
And so what is on Kara's mind as we get in? We're in the last couple of weeks of school. You are relieved that that no criminal charges have been pressed against any of you. Are you looking forward to summer? What do you think your parents are about? Let's set a scene. Do you want morning, afternoon, evening? How do you want to frame that?
I think maybe evening. And I don't know. I think in terms of like looking forward to summer, I think there's like a good chance her parents are like probably trying to plan some kind of like expensive vacation or something like that Karen knows they cannot afford, as has been the pattern.
Yeah, they're looking, well, we could go to that, if we drove down to Disney, we could get down to there and we could go by some of these caverns on the way. And they're kind of planning that out. And eventually your mom's like, well, what do you want to do this summer, Kara?
Carol just kind of sigh and be like, I don't know, like, I just got a car. It might be nice to like, I don't know, stay around here and like, we don't need to go somewhere like expensive, I'm fine just like kicking around town and hanging with my friends.
And your dad's like, well, you shouldn't have to worry about that at your age. I had to work all through high school. You shouldn't have to do that. And you shouldn't have to worry about these things. And he kind of tries to put you off. Though, as you kind of glance back, the nice furniture you had in that front room has been taken away. And your mother's gotten a bunch of wicker, white painted wicker furniture in there that she describes as homey, and kind of that it's seriously uncomfortable. But you can tell that they got the other set repossessed, and they went for this. So what do you say when they kind of are trying to get you to accept that good things are going to happen?
I'm going to try and like parent my parents a little bit and kind of do the, well, like, I was thinking like maybe like I should get like a serious job this summer. Like, I know like, it's not needed, but like, don't you think it'd like teach me like responsibility and stuff?
Well, I guess you do have a car. I mean, if you go and look for a job, we want to be able to say yes or no. There's some places we don't want you to work at.
Oh, yeah, of course. Absolutely.
And like, so you don't want to go to Disney?
No, like, I don't know. It's like, like, I think like, yeah, I'd just like to stick around town for the summer and like, try and find, a job. And I think that'd be, good for me. I'm not going to be a kid forever, right?
Fair enough. Okay. Yeah, they kind of let you go. And maybe the sense that they do curtail their plans a little bit there. They will think a little bit locally. Yeah, probably the next couple of days you hear them having some conversations like that they're worried maybe that what's going on, maybe that's impacting you. Tina. So Tina, in the next couple of weeks, how do you respond to the frustration that you have that your dad never follows up that conversation with you?
Mad as hell. Every time I see him, so what's going on with mom? What do you know about mom? What can you tell me about mom? You said you needed to talk to me about mom. What's going on with mom?
And you work him hard. And he has a pretty laid back demeanor, right?
I mean, if he means semi-comatose and detached, being laid back, then sure, he's laid back.
Finally, he says, your mother stole a lot of money from some people that you don't steal money from. And she and her boyfriend took off. And I have been trying to be quiet about this, trying to be quiet with the police, trying to be quiet with your aunt, because I have been visited on a couple of occasions by those people who she stole the money from. And I have tried to keep my profile and your profile as low as possible.
So she's alive.
Yes. As far as I know.
You know, everybody thinks that you killed her and hid the body.
I would rather people think that than people think that we're in communication with her and come and do something to you.
Is that why that guy was here that night? The guy in the suit sitting on the couch when I got home?
Yes. He was a representative of them who came by for a chat just to check in. They believe me, I think, in part because your mom did this before, ran off. You probably don't remember this. It was when you were 2, and she was gone for about 10 months, and then she came back.
So if she did that once before, why don't people believe you now?
I don't know, but I'm willing to go with it. If it keeps you safe, I don't care.
And that's why you've just been watching TV for, it feels like, just days after days after days after weeks.
Let's say I haven't dealt with this in the best way possible. But I will try to be less upset.
She abandoned us, and you're the one apologizing?
I'm apologizing because I'm the one here and I haven't done a great job of this.
I understand why you didn't tell me, but I wish you would have. I've just been mad all the time. You know, I didn't like.
You look like a normal teenager when you're mad. If nothing else, that's good camouflage, Tina.
But Beverly picked me up on the way to school one day, a few weeks back. And she was just like asking me these questions about what's going on and how you're acting, and like I didn't know any better.
I know. I think she knew about your mom's boyfriend, and I think she thinks that I found out about him and that I killed her.
But she knows Mom did this before too, right?
But that's her sister. Look, when you get done with high school, we will pull up stakes and we'll go somewhere else.
These are the kind of people you don't steal money from. That's not going to keep us safe, is it?
Not really. But at a certain point, we've got to decide whether we sit around here the rest of our lives or we do something else.
Well,
that's a lot to take in. And I'm going to go and watch some TV now.
yeah.
And he goes in with...
Dad, wait.
Yeah.
Tina runs up and hugs him. I love you, Dad. I'm sorry I've been such a shit.
I'm sorry that your mom isn't here for you.
Well, you better not give me trouble. You better not put me in trouble for saying this, but fuck her.
No, just let's not use the F word too much in the house, okay?
I won't, but yeah.
Sandra, where are you living since the eviction?
Ooh. So I think most nights I stay down at the shelter. That's where my mom and dad are. My sister Ruth has shacked up with some guy, so she's staying with him. And she's, I can't really stay over with her very often, but there are times whenever, Lawrence lets me stay over at his house. And, and I kind of crowd surf a little bit because I don't really like the shelter.
So let me ask you another question.
Yeah.
Do you deal for Aaron, or do you get yourself out from under that?
So I think the way things have gone is she thought her plan was all along that she would deal for Aaron and take the cash. She gave her some up front.
Right.
She'd take the cash and save them from eviction, but it was too late. So the cover that she had told her parents was that she got a job at the Steak and Shake, but she goes to the Steak and Shake every night after school and sits in a booth and waits for people to show up so she can sell.
So you are dealing pot out of the Steak and Shake.
That's right.
That is awesome. And one night you're there and you see your parents come in.
Nice.
And
So,
you can see like they got some money, but they decide to come and visit you at work.
So I'm ready for this. I have, been spending, I've been here a week or two, and I have stolen one of those little paper hats that they wear.
Uh-huh.
And so I know whenever they, come in the door, it's why I'm still here hanging out. When they walk in the door, I hop up and I run to the bathroom. I put my little hat on. I step out and go, "Oh, Mom." And I, kind of run up to them and kind of push them back out the door. And I say, Chad's parents showed up and it was a problem, and they caused a ruckus, and Chad got fired. So I'll bring home some food for you, but you guys can't show up here because my manager's just a real jerk. He'll can us all. And Sandra looks nervously over her shoulder.
Let's have you make a charm roll.
There we go. Okay. What is charm?
Heart plus charm.
Yay, I've got 3 dice. Okay. I got a 1 and 2 5s. So
You could, yeah.
What was it? I could.
You can get an automatic success by invoking your shame. You can mark a condition to reroll.
Okay. I don't think a reroll will help me much. My shame is I can't control my nightmares.
It's a good question. How much your nightmares have changed since you destroyed the thing that was in them?
I think they've gotten worse, right? I think they've gotten worse because that CD wasn't there. But so I think that my parents weren't that aware of my nightmares before. And they, since we're sleeping at the shelter and it's all like we're all in the same area, they hear whenever I wake up screaming, and they hear whenever I wake up panicked. So they know I'm having bad dreams. And the way that this comes forward here is I, look at them and then kind of stifle a yawn and, kind of get that quick breath. I'm just so tired. Let me, I'm going to get in trouble if I don't get right back to work.
Okay. They look super apologetic. They clearly didn't mean, they thought this would be a treat. Your mom kind of shoved some money into your hand. That she said, here, it's a long story, but she puts a couple $100 into your hand.
Ooh.
And they kind of back out. They say, we'll see you later, and they head off.
And so Sandra looks really shocked and runs back inside and turns the corner like she's going to the bathroom. And looks at this cash and is like kind of panicked. Maybe so I've been giving the cash that I've been making from dealing to my parents as if it's my paycheck, right? And I hope that they don't catch on that I'm giving them cash and I'm not giving them a check to deposit or something like that.
Right.
But I wonder if they're just giving me back some cash. I don't know.
You don't know. These are crisp 20s.
Oh, I don't know what they did. So okay. But before I get done with my shift, I buy some shakes and some greasy burgers to take back to the shelter so we can kind of sit down. Oh, this is late.
Oh yeah, and certainly not the fries, because if those fries go cold within 30 seconds at Steak and Shake, if they are not brought to you immediately out of the fryer, they are congealed and cold. So I want to cut forward. I want to set something up. The three of you do still hang out together, and we're actually going to take up on a Wednesday night. And the three of you, have a little bit of cash for whatever reasons, and you decide to go out to do something, and you end up going to like a 9:30, 9:45 movie down at the Colfax. You flipped a coin to decide whether you'd go to a movie or something else. Kara, what was the other thing that was a possibility here?
Maybe like, I don't know, to if there's like an amusement park type thing nearby or something like that.
Oh yeah, like maybe they started to get the local 4-H fair set up, and they've got the fairgrounds there. And early days are always good because you're just getting the ride set up, and sometimes they break, and that's hilarious. Yeah, so you decided to do that, and it's a Wednesday night late show in the Colfax Theater. It has one big screen and two small screen theaters in it. The two small screen theaters are clearly used to be the other big screen, but they cut it in two, so it's kind of at a weird angle on either side you go to, and it's just the three of you in the theater. One of the things you like about this place, especially during the week, is at these late shows when there's almost no one there. There's two people on staff at that time, and maybe projectionist. You're not sure whether one of them is running to do it, but they don't come in and bother you. So you can talk, put your feet up, hang out, whatever. And so you're late in the movie. You're watching The Year of the Comet, and kind of all sitting there and kind of getting to that crucial scene. You're in sort of the climax of the film, and then the screen goes white. Sound cuts out. Looks like the reel ended and the next one didn't go.
Oh, come on. Carol will kind of like stand up and like look back at the projectionist booth or whatever type of thing and like kind of like wave that direction. Maybe like, hey, presumably like, I don't know, whoever's running things fell asleep or something.
Kind of shout up there.
Sandra says, Charlie, I'm sure it's just Charlie. He's sweet on you. Why don't you go up and see him? And then she walks down to the door that they have there and props it open to take a little smoke break.
Okay. Yeah, and you can do that. What about you, Tina?
I'm just going to sit there and stare at the screen because I've got a lot of stuff that like is going on in my head, a lot of stuff to process. Like the movie's on, the movie's not on. I mean, who cares about a bottle of wine anyway?
And so, Kara, do you go out to the lobby?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Kara's like frustrated and is going to try and find who can get things in order.
Go out to the lobby. They've done a thing where they turn off half the lights to kind of dim it to after that last show. The concession stand is empty. There's nobody there. Usually they keep an usher around for a little while, but then they send them on. But usually there's a manager. You kind of look to like the office where the manager should be, and you don't see anybody.
Well, Kara will be like a little bit miffed by this type of thing. She'll probably kind of try and like wander back to the theater and see if like she can like find like if there's movies running in like other screens or anything like that type of thing. Or sorry, is this a one screen?
It's a 3-screen. It looks like whatever was showing on screen 3, the small one, didn't go off. If nobody buys tickets, they don't run it. But you go down to the big screen, and the same thing. You'll see the white projector, just white screen.
Okay. Are there any other customers in that one?
No.
Yeah.
You kind of look at the concession stand, and it's one of those glass-fronted concession stands with the racks of candy in it. The popcorn's still in the hopper of the popcorn machine, but you notice that they have these doors that they put on the back of the concession thing and kind of lock, to lock them up at night. to keep people from, after they leave, reaching in and grabbing the candy. Those doors aren't on.
Kara like starts to like maybe look like she's going to like start poking around further, but like it kind of hits her about now that it's like really empty in here and kind of dark, and starts getting creeped out, I think, probably, and starts to go back to the theater where her friends are.
Sandra, what do you smoke? Do you smoke unfiltered? Do you smoke filtered? Do you Camels, Marlboro? What do you got? The little Virginia Slims?
The cheapest shit I can buy.
Okay. So essentially you've got the generic like Gold Eagle cigarettes here.
Exactly. And they stink.
Oh yeah.
And it's basically, I pay a little bit of extra so that the clerk at the gas station that I get them from will sell them to me.
Yeah, it's remarkably easy still for 16-year-olds to buy tobacco. Yeah, these cigarettes are terrible. I mean, and kind of there, it's cool out, it's getting warm out, but it's still cool after dark. And this theater probably opens onto kind of because you can do the back exit, sort of the emergency exit, opens up into kind of an alley. There's a fence. There's maybe a railroad track behind that, and then some trees and some other buildings. And hear sirens in the distance, like not like moving, like maybe in a static place. And then you see this animal come trotting past, pays you no mind. This robot Doberman Pinscher goes along the fence line, pays no attention to you.
So when you say robot Doberman Pinscher, does it have any machine cancer?
No.
Okay. So it's robotic cyborg, but not
right. And people don't really use robots that much anymore because of the real nervousness about them.
So Sandra freezes. I think this was like mid-exhale. And whenever she feels like it's safe enough, it's far enough along, she steps back inside, makes sure the door closes quietly, and puts out the cigarette on the floor. Oh! She jumps a little bit with that noise.
Okay.
And she, walks up to Tina and says, we should go home.
Well, what's going on out there?
I just saw one of those robot dogs outside, and I haven't seen one of those in a long time. Can I stay at your place?
Yeah, of course. My dad's not going to carry out. That's weird. I thought they all stopped working.
I thought they were all gone too. Let's go grab Kara, because this show's
She's been gone for a while. I mean, she's been gone for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes now.
And you'll hear the sound of the door opening, that changes the air pressure. And you'll see, again, you got just a little bit of house lights in here, darkened theater, that white projection beam, and you'll see Kara come in.
When the door opens and that pressure changes, Sandra starts and looks back at the door, and then, kind of, looks brave again.
Kara will come in and be like, guys, there's like no one out there. Like, I think everyone already left home. Maybe they forgot, like, they had paying customers in here.
This is weird. Like, Sandra just saw a robot dog outside while she was smoking.
Sure it wasn't like a regular dog?
Yeah, like I'm blind like that. Come on. Sure.
It's dark out.
It walked past, didn't pay any attention, and clinked as it touched the road. I think it's a robot.
What? Well, I don't think we're going to see the end of this movie. Why don't we just go home? They did leave the doors to the concession windows open, though.
Snack for the drive home?
I mean, we did see the end of our movie, so, like, I don't know. I think that's honestly a fair deal.
And Sandra says we should check out the theater and make sure nobody else is here.
Yeah, like, I looked around and didn't see anyone, but, like, we can, like, do a more thorough search if you want.
Yeah, we should holler and make sure everyone's out, because we don't want to. I don't know about you, but I'd feel awful if I woke up in the morning and found out, a robot dog had freaked out and killed people here. So we should make sure, everyone goes home.
You can walk out into the lobby, poke your heads into the bathrooms, make sure nobody's there. But pretty much the only sound out in the lobby is the sound of the punch out machine that they've got there. Tina, you will see that the concession stand doors are are gloriously open.
I want to check the manager's office, see if anybody's in there.
So you go over to the manager's office. It's a little door. It's got a little window into the office there. You can see from here, there's a little desk, safe. There's like stuff out on the table. There's a purse, and an ashtray in there. You don't see anybody.
Is there a cigarette in the ashtray?
Yeah, but certainly gone out.
But like somebody was smoking it.
Yeah, early on. Yeah, it looks like the manager must smoke in her office.
Guys, this is kind of weird.
Kind of try the door. The door is locked to the office.
Like, come on. Who leaves their purse at work? I mean, who does that?
Sandra looks around. She looks around. Are there video cameras at this at this place?
Oh God, no.
Okay,
no.
Great. So she, looks at the other two and says, "Fuck it, let's leave." And she walks over to the fire alarm, getting ready to pull it.
Wait, let's get snacks first.
Oh. Okay, go for it, and then let's pull it. Everybody will clear out. We should leave.
Sounds like a plan.
And what is your snack of choice? And the great part about this, of course, is because you're grabbing, there, you kind of get your choice of whatever you want.
I think I'm going for red vines and some more red vines.
Okay, grab big fistfuls of red vines there. What about you, Kara? What is your candy of choice?
I think stick to the basics and like chocolate covered raisins.
Okay. Hey, do either of you have a purse? Who has a purse or a bag or what? I mean, what do you guys use?
I think Kara's got like a big old purse filled with junk.
Okay.
And 1992 ravers were never seen without a backpack.
Okay, so you can stuff your bags there. What about you, Sandra?
Sandra feels really guilty. Doesn't want to take anything. She's taking a lot right now. It's just not real obvious. So she just kind of sighs impatiently, but doesn't take any of the snacks.
Okay. And you can go over and there's a fire alarm there.
Yeah, so she's gonna, take the corner of her, shirt, so it's, not obvious that, there's no fingerprints or anything like that. And she says, go start the car. And as they hit the door, she's gonna pull the fire alarm. Yep.
This is a repeated stupid call I've been getting today. So.
Okay.
So much for the National Do Not Call Registry. Anyway, yeah, you can get your thing up there. Kara, Tina, you go out to the car. There are probably a few other cars out here in the parking lot. And you'll see, like, as you kind of step out, like someone has dropped a pack of cigarettes, like spilt it out, and there's a lighter there on the ground as you kind of step off from the front. And yeah, you two can get to your car.
This is weird.
Yeah, like Kara's like kind of looking around and it's like, I don't know, she's like pretty mad about like missing the end of the movie. So initially she just, was more pissed and thought people were being slackers, but like stepping into the parking lot and seeing that, I think it's like she's starting to slow down and be like, okay, this isn't just like people being slackers and skipping out on work. This is like bad. And she'll say that, like, yeah, this is
Yeah, maybe in the distance
not right.
you're hearing some sirens in the far distance. But you're going to pull the fire alarm, huh?
Yeah, so it starts ringing. As soon as they hit the door, I bolt out the front door.
Okay.
Whenever I see the cigarettes on the ground, I kind of stop and, almost unconsciously bend over to pick them up. And then I kind of come to myself and I hear the ringing and I head back over towards the car.
No one
Guys,
comes out of the theater.
this is more like Night of the Comet than Year of the Comet.
Well,
where's the people? There's cars here. Where are the people? There's cars here.
Right, but if it was Night of the Comet, right, there's red dust everywhere. There's no red dust, so it's fine.
But people don't just leave their car at the movie theater. And it's like, where did the people go? I mean, the purse is in the office. The cars are here. Nobody's coming out from the fire alarm.
Hey, we've got snacks now. We've pulled the fire alarm. Why don't we just like pull down the street and see when the firefighters get here if they like pull anyone out or something like that. Like, yeah, like
That seems like a great idea until the car won't turn over.
huh. What other buildings are nearby this theater?
I think there's probably, we're kind of downtown, so there's probably some shops. There might be a like sort of a local fast food place, Penguin Point. There, if you guys want to walk out of the parking lot of here and take a look around.
Yeah.
I have her pop the hood because I'm going to take a look underneath the hood.
Okay.
Yeah, Carol will do that, and then she'll like kind of like wander the edge of the parking lot and just like she's just looking to. At this point, she's starting to get seriously creeped out. Is just looking for other people. Period. Like signs of life, even if it's not like an open business or something like that.
So I'll give you some info, but I want you to also make an investigate roll. Just because I like to engage with mechanics. And then I'll come back to you, Sandra.
I'd like to help Kara with her role.
Okay.
Maybe she's looking one way down the street and I'm looking the other.
Sure. Extra die.
All right, no successes. So just a second, I've got to look at what are my options for no successes.
You can invoke your shame once per session, if it's appropriate, to give yourself a success, or you can mark one of your conditions to get a reroll.
I think I'm going to. I think I'm going to mark maybe cold because we're out late at night. She wasn't intending to be standing around the parking lot, so we'll give that a try. and 2 successes that now.
So in the far distance down the street, like quite a ways, you can see like flashers, and maybe you'll see some barricades. And you've seen this kind of thing before. When they quarantine an area because there's an exclusion zone outbreak in an area, like a contamination thing. And you're like, oh shit. Because people who get in here and like they pull them in for full decontamination. What you've heard is like a full day of painful processing. But the other thing you see is you will see kind of, and you kind of step back so Tina, you and Kara aren't spotted. You'll see down coming like at the corner, kind of moving past Penguin Point. You will see these 2 figures, and they have these goggles on, and you see that one of them has like some kind of thing on his arm that is giving a glow, like he's reading some things off. And the other guy has a rifle. And they are moving carefully, quietly along the street, like doing a sweep. That's not something you've seen before.
Are they in uniform?
They are not in uniform. You don't see any kind of like army uniform or police uniform on them.
Kara, we need to get back to the car and get Sandra, and we need to hide.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah.
Sandra, why don't you make a tech roll for me?
Okay. I did not make that.
Okay. Do you want to go with that, or do you want to mark a condition and reroll?
There's no problem with that. I mean, if the car won't start, it's none of my business. We can just walk. It's fine.
Absolutely. So, as you are kind of under the hood, kind of looking around, you will see this robot cat, come running, and it runs up like by where you're at, and it looks at you like up and down, like it's reading something. And it was kind of going on a straight line path, and it kind of looks at you like you almost think scans you, and then it goes off at a 90-degree angle and takes off.
Have I seen this cat before?
It looks like the other robot cats, but you didn't get a very good look at them.
Okay. It's not recognizable that this is something I've seen like in the culvert or anything.
Correct.
So I think, it happened so fast, I couldn't do anything but like, watch it. I kind of turned to the other 2, and
They're probably jogging back quietly, like panic looked on their face.
yeah. And I kind of hold up my hand, and I kind of point in a direction where the cat went and kind of wave him over.
As we get over, I'll be like, we need to hide and not be out here in the open.
Yeah, yeah. Did you see one of those cats too? I mean, it was really creepy the way it came
No,
up.
I saw like some like people like searching, and one of them had a rifle. So that I don't usually see that inside, like when you see people going into like quarantine zones and stuff. So I don't want that guy with the rifle and his friend with the weird screen or whatever on his arm to find us.
What the fuck? What do you mean a quarantine zone?
Why don't we hide first, talk later?
Why don't we get the fuck out? And I kind of say, let's go this way, and I head, the other direction from where the cat was.
Yeah, sure. Just like let's not be seen as we're getting out.
Absolutely.
So you guys are kind of gonna move along, like get to the back alley and try and move along and judge things. Tina, are you down with that?
I just want to. I mean, we've got guys with guns behind us. The alarm's going off at the movie theater, which is going to draw attention. It sounds like the cat went in the other direction. We've got one way we can go that's not in the direction of something that we know is sketchy or like sketchier than the other stuff. Yeah. If we're going away from sketchy stuff, I'm going.
And you three will move along this alley. And then you're maybe like halfway down this alley and you can kind of see out into the street on the next block. I just hit the mic with my elbow. And you see this figure come across the mouth of the alley, like running, hell-bent. Kind of a bulky outfit, almost like tack vest and things.
But it's human or looks human.
Human doesn't look like those guys. Like it's dressed differently. It has some equipment on it, and it runs past. And then you'll hear the low crack of silenced gunfire. Cook, 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 cook. And you kind of hold your position, and then you'll see a pair of guys, not the ones you saw before, come running along past the mouth of the alley too, clearly pursuing that figure.
I think whenever we hear the gunfire, I take the other two and I kind of push them off the alley, kind of behind something so we can hide a little bit. See, what the fuck?
Yeah, you can jam down into the garbage cans back here. Kara, Tina,
We need to get inside somewhere.
Yeah,
We should have just stayed in the movie theater.
If we get inside, they're going to find us. We
Yeah.
need to get outside the quarantine zone.
Yeah, they're just going to like sweep through everything over time. Like the sooner we can get out, the better. Our chances drop every minute we're still in here.
And Sandra says, "Hold up here," and she's going to, slip up to the edge of the corner and kind of look around and see if she can see anybody.
you see down the ways, you see that pair that ran past, you see they've kind of moved a little bit further apart from one another, and they're clearly still looking around. And you'll see there's a 4x4 truck, and you'll see some flashes of light from underneath it.
So I kind of there's a 4x4 truck that they're in. They're
No,
associated-
it's just parked there, and you see this kind of like brief like flash of light from underneath it.
Okay. So
Those guys are a ways, the two pursuers are a ways down the block.
Yeah, so I turn to the two of them and I kind of wave them forward, be quiet, come forward. And, I look and I say, we'll move across the street where we're open very quickly. We'll stick to the shadows. And I asked them where they saw the quarantine zone. Oh, we need to slip around this way and maybe we can get outside of it.
Well, what about that truck though?
Yeah. We start up a truck, somebody's going to come after us.
We can outrun them, and it's a lot easier in a truck.
I don't think trucks go faster than bullets.
Well, you just stay down in the truck. I mean, we've seen movies, right? I mean, a dozen blocks that way? I mean,
I guess it's probably encircling this area.
so we get in the truck, hot wired if there's no keys in it, and just drive like a bat out of hell straight down the road.
Yeah.
That's all we have to do.
So I took a look at the car. Our car wasn't starting. None of the other cars were left. I'm suspecting that the cars won't work.
But there's lights on that one. Look. So there's lights flickering on it.
Yeah, those lights aren't right.
Then they're underneath. Like, it doesn't look like a truck that would have like the ground effect lights underneath. So you're not sure what that's about.
I think, like, you know, even if we like were to just like bat out hell out of there, like they'll chase us or send the police after us or something. Let's try and sneak out. Like, maybe, I don't know, like, could we like go through like sewers, or like maybe there's a building with a basement that goes underneath the street or something like that we can use to get out? Something.
No, let's just stick to the back alleys as much as we can.
All right. Sandra, I'm just going to follow you because I mean, you spend a lot more time out here than I do. You know, if you wanted to know a warehouse to have a rave, I could tell you that like instantly. But, you know, if we're trying to get out of here.
Yeah, so Sandra really doesn't know this neighborhood, but she puts on this false bravado like, oh, yeah, I'll get us out. Let's go.
Okay. Leaving the truck, not checking that out.
Sandra makes a wide berth around that truck. She doesn't like weird shit.
Kara?
I'm curious. I want to look.
Yeah.
I think both of you two have a certain amount of drive for curiosity, as opposed to Sandra's strong self-preservation. So Sandra kind of takes a wide berth. Tina, you and Kara going to move a little closer.
Like, Kara is not a super technical person. She probably isn't going to try and like investigate the truck itself, but she'll probably try and like crouch and like get an angle on it and stuff like that to see, like, you know, if she can see anything around it and stuff like that as they're kind of passing.
You will bend down and look, and you can see the flashes seem to be from a couple of little like watch-like displays that are kind of flickering, and you will see that figure that you saw running from the pursuers is laying very still under that truck.
Whoa! Kara will probably like
Kind of bent down. You probably get that glance where we see a little bit of reflection in the goggles that this thing has on.
Does it react to the fact that I've seen it?
No.
Are we talking still hiding still or still shot in the back of the head still?
You guys kind of sit there for a second and look, and there's no movement from that body.
Kara will probably like grab about for like, I don't know, some piece of debris or a stick or something to like poke the body.
Yeah, you kind of do the thing where you kind of poke at its shoulder. It's got one of those, what do you call those? Is it balaclava? The full, full balaclava with the goggles. And you'll kind of poke there at it. You can kind of realize from the bulk of this thing that it's a woman, and it doesn't react.
I think about the time you poke it with the stick, that's whenever Sandra notices that you guys are screwing with shit, and she's like, tss, and she kind of makes a hissing noise to get your attention, and it's scary. So you poke it, and you hear this hissing noise, and
Tina?
Well, considering that we're focused on this, I think when I hear the tss, I jump about half a mile in the air. And look over, and it's like kind of just like point at the body under the truck.
And Sandra makes this gesture like, what the fuck? And, you know.
Kara, what do you do?
I think Kara's just going to like take a breath and like slowly and kind of hesitantly try and reach out and maybe try and pull those goggles and balaclava off to see if like she maybe recognizes this person.
Okay. Kind of reach in, grab under the balaclava, and kind of pull that off. And she's older by quite a bit. But that's definitely Sandra. And let's take our 5-minute break.
So Lowell Night of the Comet was the one where they were in the movie theater and everybody turned to red dust, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure I remembered it correctly.
Yeah, Year of the Comet was a different movie, but it was too good of a joke to pass up.
Yeah, no, I did that as sort of a weird two-step reference that I'm glad you got, Puckett.
Well, I gotta say, I really appreciate, because I thought you were talking about Night of the Comet and it was like a midnight movie, and then it's like I looked at it, it's like Year of the Comet. It's like, oh, wait, that came out like the week before this is setting. This is the day this is being set on. So good historical eye there.
Yeah, and probably didn't do too particularly well in the theater. So
yeah. Well, I mean, who wants to go see Tim Daly and Penelope Ann Miller find a bottle of wine? It's like Romancing the Stone, but without a stone.
So, Kara, what do you think your reaction is?
I think there's like a little bit of a stifled yelp, and then she probably rapidly backs away and like falls on her ass in the process.
Kind of get that street gravel, kind of in your hand, and the street's probably just a little bit damp from the condensation of the night. Tina, you
I
see,
checked for a pulse,
and you get, and you see Sandra, and you put your hand, kind of pull back the sleeve and the glove, and there's no pulse. The body is probably still vaguely warm.
I think Sandra kind of comes up behind the two of them and says, "For fuck's sake, let's go."
Sandra, things that Sandra, look.
Do you look, Sandra?
What the fuck? I don't need. No, let's go. I think she looks underneath real quick and is like, let's just. And kind of stops in mid sentence.
You see your own glazed eyes staring back at you from a face you don't recognize entirely.
And I think she kind of, rocks back on her heels, maybe plants her ass on the street next to Kara. She goes, "Fuck it, we gotta go."
Yeah, like yes, we do need to go.
Do we see any weapons or anything like that?
You need to pull the body out to be able to check for that kind of thing, really.
Sandra crawls underneath the truck with the body.
Okay.
And starts rifling through the pockets looking for a wallet or a pocketbook. Some kind of ID.
Let's have you make an investigate roll.
Okay.
Can I help since I'm already on the ground?
Yeah, that seems fair.
I mean, if I'm close enough to take a pulse, I'm close enough to help search.
Definitely. Extra die for you.
Okay. I got one success.
One success. There's several pieces of equipment like that you kind of don't recognize, like a future tech here, like the sort of the pseudo smartphone and some other bits and pieces, but there's no wallet or ID on this person.
I think as I pull out things like tech or something like that, I pass it back, to the others to grab, to keep. But, and I don't find anything like a weapon or anything like that.
There is a thing that might be a weapon. You're not sure. It definitely has like a button and like a pointy end kind of thing, but it doesn't look like a gun. You're not sure what it is.
And it's about what, the size of a pencil or a
Like
flashlight?
like
or...
a like a yeah like a small like flip phone size.
Okay. And yeah, so and then Sandra kind of backs back out, stops for a second, reaches up and pulls the balaclava back, and the goggles are all askance, and like, you know, let's go.
Grab the goggles.
And she reaches out and grabs the goggles and hands them to Tina, and then walks around the corner so she doesn't have to look at that anymore.
I want to put the goggles on and see if it shows me anything. I mean, are these just goggles, or are they some kind of unusual future tech goggles?
You will pull these goggles on, and you can very clearly tell that they're giving you some kind of scans and things. And you can see at the margins, almost like a heads up, that there are these dots that are moving in kind of regular patterns around. Like they're like a peripheral vision kind of heads up thing. And when you kind of look, you see the street, and there's a weird kind of overlay, like silvery shimmery overlay.
Mhm.
But you look at Kara, and she shows up like there's a shimmery red overlay on her, and it says like 98%.
Okay. What do I see when I look at Sandra?
She goes around the corner. Yeah, she's also showing up red.
And Sandra comes back around and grabs a hold of Tina by the hand and like starts pulling her. And if Kara is not coming, pulling Kara as well.
Kara, what are you doing?
I think Kara was just kind of sitting there on her ass for a few moments, but like as these guys are pulling out, sort of pull out stuff on the body and put in these goggles, she's like getting up to her feet and is like looking around to see if anyone's watching them. And then as like they come back over, it'd be like, okay, yeah, let's go.
Okay, and you will start to move along. Here, where are you guys headed?
We are sticking to the shadows, and we are headed in the best way to, kind of get out of this quarantine zone.
Well, it's a circle. So, what do you think is going to be the best point? What in your character's estimation, what's a thing that you think you might be able to use?
To tell how to get out?
Well, or to a place you might be able to slip through. What do you think?
So my first thought would be again, a ditch or something like that to stay off the road. Maybe someone's backyard. So I think we're going to slink along, kind of residential areas.
Well, you're
Until we get-
downtown, so probably only get like a couple of residential, maybe old places, but you can certainly kind of make your way along those few spots near downtown.
Yeah.
To kind of start.
What are we close to? I mean, we're in Wayward, but are we close to Memorial Hospital or Clay High or?
You're downtown, so it's like the downtown shops, like the bookstore and the record store and the head shop and those kinds of places are down here.
Okay, but where is that in? I mean, where is that on the map?
Oh, okay. Let me grab that. Hang on a second. Pull that up and screen share. So you guys are probably And I'm going to screen share here. Do it on this thing. I love that the cancel button for the screen share is the one that's highlighted. You see where the W is in Wayward?
Mhm.
That around those blocks there.
All right. So we've got 33 to the north. We got a couple of major roads that are going to be blocked off.
And is that big circle the one that we think is a quarantine zone? Or is that just happenstance?
The big gray circle?
Yeah.
That's the loop.
Okay.
Anything that's marked in sort of orange and purple are exclusion zones, and then what you've been told are the purple circles are supposedly high risk areas.
Okay.
I mean, it kind of looks like we need to go northwest because that'll get it. I mean, that keeps us away from the major roads.
So kind of work yourself a little kitty corner to the major roads and kind of start heading up that way.
Yeah.
And if we can, we head away from where we saw these people.
Yeah.
What is your thought on this, Karen, at this point when you start moving along? Is this are you down with trying to escape this way, or do you want to turn yourself in, or do you want to hide? What are your thoughts at this point?
Oh, Kara, she thinks this is the best. She thinks this is the best route, but she's like really skeptical of its ability to work because she feels like there's stuff going on here we don't know, and whatever it is we don't know is going to come back and bite us because obviously this is personal to us, right? Given that we saw age Sandra, this isn't just chance.
That makes sense. Let's have Sandra make a sneak roll for the group since she's the one with the highest sneak.
Okay.
Unfortunately, sneak is not something you can really help others with. We need the best person to lead this project.
Okay. I have 2 6s.
2 6s. So you are carefully moving from place to place, not fast, moving from car to car, waiting and looking. You will see a couple more times those patrol people, pairs of people, one with the things, the arm thing, another one with the rifle. Probably get a little bit closer so that in the distance you can see the blocks they've got up for the quarantine thing. You can see police cars, and you'll see some Crown International. They've got the tech have some people there, and you can see they're in like the full hazmat suit kind of thing, and they seem to be kind of standing around. And you are certainly making your way. Tina?
Yep.
You will see like those dots have been kind of around moving, and you see that the dots have now kind of shifted and they seem to be converging. And you thought maybe they might be people, but like when one of these patrol pairs goes past, they don't register up as dots on that heads up, so it's something else.
What do they register? Do they register as anything on the heads up?
They don't register as anything on the heads up, but when you look at them, they don't have the red overlay like you do.
Well, I don't know what kind of overlay I have. I know what kind of overlay.
I assume at some point you will see your hand and see that that is
Okay,
overlaid overhead.
Fair. I was just gonna ask Kara to look at me and put them on her head, but very interesting. Do I see anything else with the red overlay?
No, and not where you're at right now.
Okay. And you said what kind of overlay? What overlay did they have on them again?
On the other people, like
Yeah.
like most of the buildings and things, they have a kind of a silvery overlay.
Okay. And the people who drove by as well, like the search pairs, they were silver.
That's what I said. Yeah, they're the ones I was talking about that were silver.
This is weird because they have the same kind of. Did I hear you correctly in saying that they have the same kind of overlay as the buildings?
Yeah, it looks like it looks like the overlay seems to be the environment seems to be on that, and whatever is like the baseline 0, buildings, cars, and these people that you've seen go by. So whatever the thing is reading for, it's not reading them as anything unusual, whereas it's reading
us as unusual, but it's reading them and buildings the same.
Yeah, as background normal.
Okay, because I'm thinking it's like, wait a minute, it's reading them as inanimate objects. Okay, wow. Okay.
Well, you don't know what it's detecting.
Yeah, all I know is that we're different from everything else.
Yeah.
I wish I'd taken a look at older Sandra's body.
In distance, probably hear another, and probably far away from you, another crack, pop, pop of some more gunfire. Doesn't carry very far, but you'll hear it.
Oh, geez, I wonder which one of us that was.
And then you will see a group of these robot cats, like 3 of them, cross your paths. And when they come across and cross your paths, Tina, you'll see like 3 of the remaining dots that are off on the left-hand side of the overlay shift over to the right and kind of move with them.
I turn my head to look. Are the dots now in the center of the overlay as I'm staring at them?
As you do that, yeah, they're definitely getting like those things are conglomerating in another area.
Guys, this is going to sound like a really, really weird and probably dumb idea. Let's follow the cats. Because these goggles are weird. We're showing up as red. Everything else is silver. But there's all these dots. And it looks like the dots are robots. And those cats didn't really pay us any attention. So I'm thinking, let's follow the cats. Maybe they know something we don't. Maybe we can follow them and get out of here. I mean,
did we get any sense that the people who were, the pairs of people who were coming through, that they might be looking for the cats as well? Like the cats, like the robots avoided them, or?
You certainly haven't seen them together in the same frame.
Okay.
I mean, Sandra, you said the dog ignored you.
The dog ignored me. The cat didn't. The cat that I saw right before you guys came back to the car scanned me. Like, looked me up and down like it was scanning me, and then just took off in another direction.
Let's follow them. I mean, they're leaving us alone.
Well, for now, I mean, which direction were the cats headed? Were they headed back towards the people with the quarantine zone, or?
If you're headed this way, imagine there's a circle around. I'm going to hit the mic again. you kind of headed this way. The cats are kind of coming this way, heading back more towards downtown.
So we don't want to double back. I mean, we can, see if we can't find them, find some that are nearby, but I don't really want to go back, where the killing fields are.
I don't know. I honestly like the idea of finding what the cats are up to, because I don't know, these guys, like, whoever's maintaining this quarantine zone, like, they seem like they probably know what they're doing. Like, unless we find out something they don't know, what are the odds of us, like, just slipping past, like, these trained guys
who appear to be just killing people?
Following cats or not following cats?
Oh, I think that so Sandra's the only one who was like, no. And I think the other two, whenever they head out after it, she's like, for fuck's sake, and kind of reluctantly goes after them, because only she can take care of them, right?
Right. And you guys will come up and kind of bring yourself to a stop, because you hear, kind of following the path of the cats, and you hear the sound of a vehicle. And when you look, you'll see there's a van, unmarked black murder van, parked there. And you will see this guy. He's dressed like the hunters. And you can see he's talking on some sort of big bulky ComSat phone to somebody.
How does he scan with the goggles?
He scans silver, like
Okay.
everything else here. Yeah.
And so he's watching the cats. What's he?
No, he hasn't seen the cats. He's kind of standing by this van that's running. He seems to be talking to somebody somewhere else.
Guys, I've got a really, really weird idea. So we got these goggles from Sandra, right?
No, you got those goggles off that dead body. That definitely wasn't me.
Well, okay, we got these goggles off of a dead body that definitely wasn't you, but looked a lot like you and had your eyes. So we're all scanning red with these things. Everything else is scanning silver. What if that body that obviously wasn't you was looking for us? Like you remember the Terminator? Like how the Terminator went looking for the kid to protect him? I mean, what if it's something like that? Like, all these people are out here, they're all scanning silver. We're red.
I don't know what your goggles do. I mean that no.
We've heard two separate series of shots, and we found one body. What if, this is going to sound crazy, what if this is us from the future trying to find us in the present to protect us from whatever the hell is going on right now?
like that's possible. Though if so, I will point out they appear to be bad at it. It's also possible they could be like, I don't know, are like clones who are like accelerated aging and seeking us out to like extract our bone marrow or something like that. Like we don't know at this point.
It's weird. Okay, and I don't know why every other living person or person-like thing we've seen has been silver except us, and we're red.
Yeah, but we haven't seen any normal people yet.
Well, we don't know if they're normal people.
No, I mean non-hunters.
I'm willing to bet that, yeah, like the person who looks weirdly like Sandra probably was looking for Sandra. I'm just saying maybe we shouldn't like automatically assume. they were here to help. They're definitely looking for us, though.
Let's find the cats. This is getting weirder by the second.
Yeah, I trust cats much more than like weird time travelers or clones or whatever.
Or people
Even
with
robot
guns.
cats are better.
So taking a wide berth, avoiding this guy.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Why don't you make another sneak roll for me, Sandra?
Okay.
Can we hear anything he's saying? Are we
Well,
close
that
enough?
would be a different thing. If somebody wants to move up a little bit closer to investigate, I'd be willing to let them do that.
I mean, it seems like it'd be kind of a good idea to have an idea of maybe what we're hearing. Or what.
If somebody wants to move closer, try and hear over here.
Can I do it with an investigate roll, or do I have to
you
use
investigate.
All right. Actually, Carrie, you have the strongest. You have the strongest.
Yeah. Carol try and like get just close enough to like overhear a little bit what's going on, because
Sandra's just going to leave us for dead.
So you'll be rolling. Normally, you would be rolling 6 dice, but because you're cold, you're going to lose a die. I will assume that the others can assist a little bit to give you back that die.
Yeah. Sandra will actually assist in basically telling you where's the best place to hide, saying, what are you doing? Don't go up there. Stay in the shadow.
Makes sense. All right. Oh, once again, no successes. Oh, the dice have been mean to me already.
You could call on your shame.
Oh, I'm trying to think of a way I can...
Putting yourself in danger here, trying to feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. That actually...
Ratcheting up your anxiety.
Yeah.
Okay. Then that'll give you an automatic success.
All right.
You will move up and you will hear he's going. Yeah, so we've got 3 confirmed intrusions. They've got some kind of scan thing. Blockers, we're still trying to figure that out. It's not like the last time. We know we've got one of them, but I've been told that when they got to the body, somebody had already taken the key gear off of it. Yeah, yes, I know how valuable that is. I know how much that's worth. Understood. I'm assuming it's another one of the 3. We're trying to track, sir. Yes, sir. I understand the consequences. Does that seem like fair info?
Is he alone?
Yeah, this guy's alone, talking on this communicator.
Carol will kind of like slip a little bit closer up back to where everyone is and be like, okay, they're definitely looking for 3 people, 3 intrusions. They know that we stripped the body of the one, so like let's not get caught.
Is it? What are the odds that we could overpower this guy and knock him out?
Let's see. Well, that's a trained soldier, you're guessing, and you are 3 teenage girls. So,
not good.
The odds are not good, but I'm not saying it's outside the realm of possibility. The question is, do you feel lucky?
No.
But he might have stuff we could use, or like.
Yeah, but what are the chances of us taking him out? Like, yeah, sure, like there's 3 of us, and so maybe we could get the jump on them and like crack something.
That pointy thing with the button.
They don't know where we are. If we take him out, they'll know immediately where we are.
And that's presuming like he might doesn't like, he'll probably get a shot off or something like that, and like that might just make a lot of noise. It might kill one of us.
For all we know, it's a flashlight.
Fine, let's go find the cats.
Okay, let's go find the cats.
Sandra, now let's have you make that sneak roll.
Oh yeah, okay. Uh-oh. Oh, there's a 6.
So it's slow. Like you are trying to follow these things and kind of keep your bearings. What is the closest call that you have?
Me?
Yeah, the group, for leading group. What is the closest call?
I think that the closest call is actually Tina is kind of leading us because she can kind of see where the cats are through the goggles. And she's so focused on the cats, she doesn't notice and kind of steps around a corner and there's someone, like halfway down the block. And, you see the whole Sandra's hand comes out and pulls her back, not quickly, just slowly so she doesn't make any noise. And nobody notices that.
And you will move along and you get to sort of more towards the downtown area, and it looks like the cats have kind of and dogs. You'll now see that there are 2 kinds of these robot animals around. They have moved and they've almost formed a perimeter around a space here. Like you can see that certainly in your goggles, and the 3 of you will come upon a couple of these animals kind of hidden away, but definitely like sitting there.
I'm going to slowly approach them.
Okay. You can walk up to it. Are the others following, or are you standing back at a distance, Sandra?
Sandra, whenever she sees her approach, steps up kind of a little bit behind and off to the side with the pointy flashlight with the button trained on it.
Okay.
Kara will come up with.
Okay. It definitely, these things don't seem to react to you, Sandra, or you, Tina, but due to Kara.
React
Like-
how?
Like they turn and like their heads move and kind of they turn to full observation on Kara.
Kara
Kara?
will give them a little wave.
I look Kara up and down with the goggles. Do I see any kind of change in anything? You said it was red and 98% last time.
Yep. No change.
Any change in Sandra?
No.
Kara, why don't you walk up toward them?
Yeah.
They're looking at you.
And ignoring you and Sandra.
Maybe they're my pets from the future, which I brought back to now for. And Carol just like kind of like go forward a little bit more cautiously, being like, "Hello, little friends," and like do that thing of like extend the back of the hand towards them, just like you would for like if you're trying to get like a friendly animal's attention.
The cat steps forward.
And Sandra, gets more threatening with the
Sure.
Sandra, back.
device.
Ease off.
Kara? It kind of moves up towards you.
Carol will like crouch down a little bit and be like, Hello, little buddy.
And what is the like the flash you get, the last thing you get before the cat knocks you unconscious?
I'm thinking something maybe happens with its eyes. Like,
Changes color.
yeah, exactly.
Okay. And you two will kind of hear a little of a bit of a, and you'll see Kara gently, she's kind of crouched down by the cat, kind of gently slumps to the street.
I pressed that button.
All right. Why don't you make one of your tech skills here?
What are my tech skills?
So let's have you roll with 5 dice.
Okay. Like a tinker or something like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
I got 1 6.
And when you do that, like that clicker thing, you will see there's a little bit of light on the end of this thing, and you will see the cat go boom and turn off.
Mhm.
The dog's still kind of standing there, off a little ways, but kind of watching this.
And I run up to Kara and I check, is she alive?
She's just asleep.
I kind of shake her a little bit to see if I can get her to wake up.
It'll take a second, but yeah, you can shake her awake.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I think since it takes a little while, I get a little panicked.
Okay.
And I start kind of saying her name louder than I probably should. I'm like, Kara.
Tina, what are you doing when this is going on?
I'm kind of shocked because I had just said, ease off with that thing. We don't know what it does. These animals don't seem hostile. I mean, the robot animals don't seem hostile. Now, Kara's on the ground. This cat is who knows what. I'm walking over to the dog.
Okay.
Like, hey, buddy, how you doing, little guy? How you doing?
It sits there.
I want to try something ridiculous.
Please.
I want to make a charm roll.
I don't think you have to, because the dog reads you as friendly.
Okay. I mean, it's not treating us as hostile, but I'm wondering, can I turn it from non-hostile to a friend?
That'd be a program roll.
Okay. And I have precisely 0 programming skills.
But it definitely not regarding you as hostile, and definitely not trying to step in your way or anything.
All right. Well, Sandra's trying to shake Kara awake. I want to look at the stuff we got off of the body that's definitely not Sandra.
Sure.
And see if any of it looks like anything that scans these critters or can communicate with them or anything like that.
That is a calculate or a program roll.
Which none of us have. Well, okay, Sandra has calculate, but she's busy.
You have 7 XP.
That's true. I do. All right. You know what? Let's go with program.
Okay.
I knew I was saving that XP for a reason. All
That'll
right.
be 4 dice for you.
All righty. Will my glow sticks have any effect here?
Don't
given
think
that
so.
they can light up the area a little bit more?
No, I think these are already sort of they're lit pieces of tech equipment. I don't think the glow sticks is going to just with that.
All right. Well, let's see what we get.
So can I assist with calculate?
Yeah, I give you an extra die.
All right.
Yeah. And the way this actually looks on screen is like you start messing around with something, and I'm like, I'll flip it over here, Yeah.
Let's have you roll.
There's a 6.
So this definitely looks like it's some kind of scanning and some like information storage stuff. The smartphone thing, you won't be able to get into, but you can tell that it's like a phone because you can kind of see that like a little computer thing, and you can see that it says no signal, on it. Yeah. What is it I guess, what is it that you're looking for here? What are you trying to understand?
I want to see if any of this gear will let us communicate with the robot critters, and ideally allow us to kind of switch a setting so that they protect us.
What is the point at which you realize that the animals are voice commanded by you?
The point when I also realized that I'm an absolute idiot.
You go, come here, puppy. And the dog comes.
And I sigh and shake my head.
Kara, those two are working on that intently. As you're kind of woken up, you'll see the cat. It's like a big robot cat statue in front of you.
I'll just kind of like shake the sleep off, as it were, and just like look at the cat and probably like kind of bewilderingly be like, why did you do that?
And you're kind of sitting up, and you can see you guys had kind of stopped on the edge of like a small downtown park, like just like a maybe quarter block at most. Some trees, probably some outdoor seating area, and stuff with the umbrellas and things. And you will see just cross that and moving kind of carefully, you will see another figure in the sort of the tack armor with the gear. Looks like they're dressed like that Sandra was.
We've got to go talk to that person.
So let me hang on. You guys are occupied with that. So let me have Kara. Let me get her action reaction.
Yeah, Kara will like, she'll stiffen at that and like, probably even without like fully getting up, sort of like half like scramble back towards the other two and be like, guys, there's another one of them, not the hunters, but one of us or whatever over there.
And I lean over to Tina and I say, what does it look like through the goggles?
That's a very good question. What does she look like?
That figure is showing up as purple, and you can see there's like a countdown clock going.
A countdown clock. Is there a percentage?
No, not percentage. It's numbers that are kind of wheeling past fast.
Okay. Cats, dogs, follow us.
The dog will. The cat is. The cat is rendered. The cat has been turned off. So yeah, you guys, are you going to follow this person at a distance? Are you going to try and get up to them? What is your goal here with your movement?
I'm going straight for them.
Okay.
Because so far, we've seen that they're targets. And stuff's weird. This could, of course, be a very, very bad judgment call on Tina's part, but she's kind of impulsive. And
Sandra, Kara, you see Tina take off and run after this figure.
Sandra leans forward and says, "I'll cover you," and kind of takes off, trailing her.
Okay. Kara?
Kara is just like, she thinks this is a bad idea, but she doesn't want Tina to like go out there alone, so she'll just chase after Tina, whether it's a good idea or not.
So you kind of hit that street, come around, and you make enough noise that this figure turns around. You see him raise that clicker, and then you see him, like, his arms drop to the side.
And I raise the clicker at him.
And this voice, this deep voice says, "What the hell are you doing here, Tina? What the hell are all... You're supposed to be at the fairgrounds."
We went to the movies.
"No, you're supposed to be at the fairgrounds."
We went to the movies. We saw Year of the Comet.
Oh, that's not a good movie.
Who
No,
the
it really
fuck?
wasn't.
Why are you guys talking? How do you know Tina?
And you see he looks over and he goes, "Oh my God, Kara."
Do I know you?
And Larry will pull his balaclava off. Older, lost weight, filled out a little, but you'll recognize his face because it still has a little bit of that boyishness to it. And he looks like really sad when he's looking at you.
And I say, "Fuck you. You got me killed."
They got Sandra. They got you.
What the hell?
Listen, I need your help.
Yeah, sure. But, like, can we get someplace to hide?
Can we know what the hell is going on?
That's why I want to get us someplace, like, safer and more hidden than the goddamn park.
I don't have much time before I rubber band back. And he looks at you, Tina, and he goes, "And you're buying me more time right now."
What do you need?
There was a probe sent back, and it got lost in the span of things. The cats and dogs, the minimal information. There was something that went back. It would have been an oddity, a weird thing that was out of place, that maybe shouldn't have been. That, can you think of something like that?
Yeah. Yeah, I can fucking think about something like that. I'm dead under a truck, like a few blocks over there.
He goes, "Sandra, not now." Like he's had these kinds of conversations with you before. A lot. And he's like, I get it. There's every chance that they can do some reversal on that, but I don't know. But we've got to find this thing.
What would the thing look like? How do we know it's a thing?
The probe tries to make itself like camouflaged, so it would look like a collectible or a weird oddity in something, something unusual like that, a little bit odd but fitting in with the nearby environment.
Okay, fine. I
Tina's
saw
literally scratching her head.
Yeah. And Sandra starts going through this list. We saw a robotic Doberman. We saw the movie Stop at the Theater. We saw cigarettes on the ground.
And he's like, "Okay, let me think here, what that could be." And he says, it's somewhere in this area, somewhere in amongst these shops and stuff.
So we should search.
Look, I don't know how to find this thing right now.
Is there any setting on these goggles that'll help?
No, the cats and the beasts are able to kind of narrow the search area down.
Well, gee, good thing you shut one of them down, Sandra.
And I shoot Tina a glare.
Okay, so did you send this probe back? Is this yours?
No, I can't.
How long do you have?
I have about 2 minutes right now.
And if you go away, what do we do with the probe if we find it?
If you find it, I need to have it bump up the timeline. And he will say, and he will pull something out of a pouch there, and he will hand you this very worn book that you will recognize, Kara. He says, put that on it. That should be enough paradox to send it back.
Oh, okay, Carol will say nervously, grabbing the book and like clutching it to her chest after grabbing it.
And you said it was something out of place?
Don't touch it to your copy.
Okay. I'm not going to ask what happens if I did.
And you said it would look out of place somehow?
Like it would try to hide in a collection, but it would look out of place. It would look odd.
And how far? You said it's in this general
In
vicinity.
this area,
Like a block?
like in the surrounding area. So this is just this block area.
So let's start looking.
Well, Larry, how can we use the cats to narrow and the dogs to narrow the search area more?
He goes, I'm sorry. I'm out of time. They're going to go with me.
Oh, Christ. Fine.
He says, look, I have to tell you right now, you've got 2 years, but then you've got to get out of Wayward. And he pops, and you'll hear as the robot cats and dogs vanish. What do you guys do?
So Sandra, go ahead.
I was just going to say, all right, so are there shops around here? Or are there anything where there be collections of things? Let's just start looking in shop windows and see what we can see. Like, do it quickly.
There's a record store. There's the bookstore. There's the head shop / comic book store. Those are the big ones that are down here.
We need to split up, and we each need to search one. I mean, those are all going to be collectible places.
All right.
So Sandra heads over to the head shop.
Okay, I'll take the bookstore.
I guess I'm looking at the records.
Okay.
God, Larry's parents are going to be pissed if I have to break in there.
Well, this is the downtown record store, so they won't mind because this is the sort of indie record competitor.
Oh God, I'm going to feel even worse about it because it's not a chain store.
No, this is locally owned.
Oh.
So, how do you bust in, Tina? How do you bust into the record store?
Pick the lock.
Okay, let's have you roll Tinker.
All I got, staggeringly enough, no 6s. I would like to invoke my shame. Because Sandra is going to check out the head shop where Raven works, and I still
Right.
have a thing for Raven.
Absolutely. Kind of reminded of that. You probably were about to say head shop.
Yeah, because it's like I could go see the kittens and, just kind of, it's comforting to be there because it's like, when I smell that kind of like patchouli incense stuff, it makes me think of her. And I'm kind of a little annoyed that, instead I got to go look at a bunch of dumb records. And there is 1/6.
1/6. Get it open, get inside, start looking around those kind of handmade racks and things.
Yeah.
And, they've got CDs in a big tall sleeves now, where they got to do the punch out on them. And it's probably half vinyl and half that. And they probably still sell cassettes.
92 they would.
Yeah. Tell me how you're getting into the head shop.
Well, if it was anyone else, I'd just smash the window with like a rock. But
Right.
I think that, I go around back to the back door
Okay.
and I pick the lock.
All right. Let's have you roll that.
Okay. That's Tinker. And I can bring my lockpicks into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see what that looks like. 1/6.
Okay. You will get in there. That wonderful smell of patchouli. Start moving through the comic book racks, taking a look at that kind of stuff. You maybe hear when you start moving in the back the mewling of the kittens. Possibly distracted by that, or possibly scared because you've had a not great experience with cats tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I jump and I'm like, oh.
And then Kara.
Oh,
That front door is unlocked on the bookstore.
well, that's good because I certainly can't pick a lock. Yeah.
Although you do have 8 XP.
Yeah.
So that's true. I probably still couldn't pick a lock.
Yeah, you can pull that open. It's one of those stores that's really long and narrow, and there's books, shelves, and things like that. And you can see there's a light on, like we can see this in the back room.
Okay. Well, I'll first go try and make my way quietly towards where that light on, see if there's someone still in here.
Yeah, you will hear some people talking, and you'll kind of make your way back, and you kind of peek around the corner, and you will see this big table. There are a couple of big tables back here. This one has this lovingly green sort of turf on it with some little buildings and things like that. And you can see there are these people there with tape measures, and they seem to be moving these little tanks on this green felt. You can see there's a couple of vending machines back here. And you will definitely get this weird, you're the seeker, and you will get this weird feeling like you see tucked away in a corner is this cardboard box, like somebody's jammed it underneath to kind of hide it away. But there are like a couple tables of these people playing war games right now. What do you do? You are muted if you're talking to me. Take a drink.
Depending, given how people are arranged in this room, is there any plausible real chance of me sneaking over to that box without being seen by them? Or
What's your sneak?
Well, my sneak is, well, it'll total up to 4, so not the worst.
Not the worst. You think you might have more luck trying to bluff your way in?
Yeah, that was definitely my backup plan if it didn't look like an easy sneak. And yeah, I'll basically just knock on the corner of the sort of door frame type of thing and be like, I thought people might still be in here. I just there's a box I was supposed to come by and pick up, and I was late, but the door was unlocked. Do you mind if I just quickly come in and out?
Okay, let us have you roll your charm.
Well, I should be good at that, but then given how I've been rolling thus far, let's see. Oh yeah, I'm down 1 because I've got condition.
Yes.
Ooh, 2 successes.
2 successes. So you see them kind of look around and they're like, yeah, Jim and Sarah didn't say anything, but we're supposed to lock up. And somebody said, I should have locked the front door. And like, yeah, if you see it, you should grab it. Like, they don't want to get in the way. And you can see the other person's getting impatient for them to take their turn. And you can see the other table. There's this big blue paper hex map, and they've got these little counters, and they've got these big sheets that they're marking things on, and they don't pay any attention to you. They seem to be involved in some sort of Star Trek, Star Wars battle thing that is eating up their entire attention.
Well, in which case I will try to get no more of their attention than I already have, and slip out and grab that box that seemed to catch my eye and get that out of there before I examine what's in it.
Okay. So you grab the box and take off?
Yep.
This box smells terrible.
Great.
And you will haul ass out to the front. So let me ask you this, Sandra, Tina, what's the point at which you kind of are like, I don't see anything here? Tina?
I was already frustrated to begin with. So, I mean, nothing is catching my eye. I realize as I'm sitting there looking at techno vinyl that I've just kind of checked out of it. And obviously, if it's here, I'm either not seeing it or it's not here.
And then you'll probably spot Kara, out front. Sandra, what is the thing that tells you?
So Sandra is actually going through the area, going through the head shop and everything, and starts looking for something. And she's like, for fuck's sake, I have no clue. She catches herself pocketing maybe some rolling papers or something, and then fuck, what the fuck am I doing? And puts it back on the shelf, and then says, the goggles, I bet, Tina's goggles would show us the weird thing. So she heads back out to find Tina.
And you two will come out, and you see Kara has this big cardboard box.
Since I'm wearing the goggles, does it actually show up as anything unusual?
Only once you kind of get close do you get this weird reading from it. And you'll see kind of a purplish light.
It's the same light that Larry had. That's got to be it.
And you can pop this box open on the street. Kara, this is the weird box of strange collectible memorabilia that got stolen from the head shop. What is the thing in here that this probe has assumed the form of?
I think it's a Star Wars action figure for a character who wasn't in any of the movies.
Oh, okay. Like an alternate paint Boba Fett kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Something like that. Yeah.
And do you put the things together?
Yeah. Fingers crossed, and then put the book over the thing.
Tina, what does it look like when those two things contact each other?
There's like this kind of weird shimmering and kind of a glow, not a really super bright glow, but and then it just kind of, it's almost like it winks out of existence. Like the glow kind of folds in upon itself and the shimmer follows. So the first thing that goes away is the glow, and then there's like the kind of weird heat shimmer effect around it vanishes.
When it vanishes, the action figure is gone. Is the book also gone?
Well, of course the book's gone. It folded in with it.
Okay. And Sandra, what do you do when you feel something graze by your leg and you see that RoboCat that you shut down earlier kind of push against your leg?
I jump probably like 10 feet in the air, just and come down, just panicked. And then I look around to see if anyone noticed, and then kind of point the clicker at the cat. And then I stop for a second, and I'm like, follow me. And I think I'm ready to leave.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you kind of walk over, the cat follows you, and I think that's where we're going to stop and go to epilogues. So, Tina, what is the epilogue we see from you, either in the immediate aftermath of this weirdness or later on, days or weeks, summer or further? What is the epilogue we're going to see for you?
I think the epilogue you're going to see for Tina is her dad is at her high school graduation. She's walking cap and gown, and you see a truck in the parking lot that's pretty clearly packed up with everything that mattered to them. I mean, there's not really any room for furniture or anything like that, but the furniture wasn't that great.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some records in the truck. I mean, some books, just the stuff that mattered, the stuff they didn't really think they could easily replace.
Okay.
And you can tell they're getting the hell out of Dodge.
Excellent. And what about you, Sandra?
I think you see a little bit later, during the graduation, you see Sandra across the stage, and she's a little nervous, and she's got the robe on and everything, and she kind of steps down off the stage and then takes a peek inside to make sure everything's good, because maybe it wasn't good. And then you see her parents out in the audience, and then it kind of zips forward a little bit, and you see other kids leaving for parties and stuff, and you see that her parents and so basically they have a car packed up, and there's there is nothing left. There's very little in the car.
Right.
But Sandra has been saving up. A fast food worker doesn't make nearly as much as a pot dealer, right?
Right.
So she's been saving up and bought a little car, and she and her parents are getting the fuck out of Dodge. And I think as we see Tina's parents or Tina's, family take off in the truck, we see, Sandra's family kind of fall in behind them.
And Kara, what about you?
Honestly, that kind of dovetails a little bit for what I was thinking with Kara, because
Nice.
I was thinking about the end of high school and stuff like that, and there's activity in her parents' apartment and stuff like that. There's probably an eviction notice on the door, things, and her parents moving stuff out, and probably just her gathering up her stuff, but she's not loading it in the truck her parents borrowed. She's loading it in her little Deathmobile, and sort of her parents' car is still in the parking lot and behind as she drives off down the road on her own away from them.
Nice detail. And that's where we're going to stop.
I have one question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sandra, did you take the robot cat?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think actually, as you're driving away, you see the the camera focuses in on the two cars as they kind of pull away. You see the robot cat kind of pop up in the back window, and you see the glowing red eyes.
Zooms in on that because it's a 90s film. Okay. Yeah. Perfect.
Credits roll.
Yes. Thank you all very much. If you don't mind, let's do just a quick stars and wishes, and get some impressions as we played a full 4 sessions of this, and what you thought. Let's kind of go in that same order we just did, if you don't mind. You guys cool with that? Puckett, any stars you want to throw about the game or about other players or anything, and then we'll come around and talk about wishes after that. So what do you think?
The setting, the slightly more mature setting, was a little weird to me.
Okay.
Because I was kind of I was in the Wednesday game, and it's
you were coming from Tales to things in a weird schizophrenic kind of way there.
Yeah, and trying to bounce back and forth between the two and the tonal shifts in them. It's here you're kids, here you're teenagers. Here you throw a rock at a cop car, here you throw a Molotov at a broadcast tower. Okay, I can roll with this. But I like the tone, although it is darker and it is a little bit more grim. Mm-hmm. I still like it, and it's there's still room for fun and kind of it reminds me of my days as a punk, just skating in ditches and things like that. It's you find places to play when everything falls apart. So I appreciated that. I like the characterization. I wish everybody had been able to be here for every session. But there were just so many great details. I'm not going to get over you picking Dominion as Kara's favorite song, Wade. I mean, I'm not going to get over that. That's just okay, that's perfect. And then Natasha Lyonne that's just perfect. I mean, I really liked the way that everybody leaned into their characters. That Sandra was exasperated with all of us most of the time because we're curious and it's what's this? And we don't have an ounce of self-preservation instinct. And she says you're going to die, and worse than that, you're going to get me killed. I don't care if you want to go off and die. That's your own business, but you're going to get me killed, and I don't like that. I like our troubles and our shames were, basically like a little bit more in tone, like a little bit darker. It's that, I mean, I hurt myself. That's like cutting in the 90s. That wasn't something that was getting talked about a lot at that time, but it was going on. So I really appreciated like the little details that people put into their characters. Like even down to the cigarette pack, It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it.
Good. And shout out to Tom, who wasn't here, who burnt his iconic item at the end of last session in what was a moment that felt like a real transition for him, for his character, and it was a good moment using that.
And hey, we found out that he's not grounded anymore.
Yes, eventually.
I mean, he's like 40 something or whatever, but he's not grounded.
Steven, Stars Wishes.
Yeah. So I had played Tales from the Loop as a one shot once before, and it was fine. This really breathes a lot more. I don't know because it's not a one shot. Maybe that's why. But I mean, I really enjoyed the story. It was very evocative. It felt a lot like the. It felt a lot like the spooky teenager kind of movies that you see that you see on TV or something. And I mean, I felt so comfortable with all of the characters. They just fit so well. It was, where you've got the guy who's, the kind of goody two shoes with the parents who's keeping a job and all of that. And you've got the hoodlum and you've got the rocker. And, I mean, everybody just fit in really well. And it made a lot of sense in the story. And then weird shit started to happen. I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, I just really liked how everybody played their characters.
Awesome. Wade, I was so glad to have Kara back this session, and we got to do some cool stuff with her. So, any thing you want to throw out?
Yeah. Well, I obviously have to agree with a lot of what other people are saying. Like, it was very evocative, and in part maybe because this was close to the era I was going to high school in, right? And I think for a lot of it was us, this was like nostalgia kick, right? I really like how this sort of saying lets you have the nostalgia, but it's also like it's not like set in our world in the same way. Like there's the weirdness that sets it apart, and I find somehow like that weirdness makes the normal stuff feel a lot more real. And I like how it sort of like moves back and forth between them. And we really got to see really cool stuff with people and their families and how they sort of interact with the world and things like that. And it, really hit me in a lot of places that I wasn't necessarily expecting. It was really cool. I play and run a ton of Monster Hearts. So it was very interesting, coming from, I'm like used to characters around this age, but it's such a different experience than doing something like Monster Hearts, honestly. So it was like really cool to see a window on the same sort of life stage, but in a completely different way.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. And that's really interesting because I've only played a little bit of Monster Hearts and I'm getting ready to run some. So I'm glad to hear that dynamic is there. And sort of rolling off of that, I want to say I appreciate everybody being willing to let me put awful things from your family on the table pretty consistently, and all of you being willing to roll with those moments. I dig what everybody did in those scenes. So I was happy with that. Any other thoughts anybody wants to throw out? If not, I'm just going to say thank you for having played this, and I'm going to stop the recording.
It was lots of fun. Thanks.
Good.
Yeah, thank you for running it. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you so much.